Hello, everyone, and welcome to the English Radio Channel podcast. This is the place where you can improve your English by listening to natural conversations about real life.
Yes, welcome. We love talking about English, but we also love talking about the small, everyday choices we all make.
Exactly. I'm Mark, your host.
And I'm Sarah, your co-host.
Before we start our big topic today, I have a quick question for everyone listening at home, in the car, or on the train.
Oh boy, when Mark says quick question, it usually means a funny question.
All right, listeners, imagine this situation. You just got paid for your work. The money is in your bank. Your phone is in your hand. Your banking app is open. What is the very first thing you do?
Oh, this is a very good question. Let's give our listeners some options to choose from.
Option 1. You move money to your savings account right away.
Option 2, you open an online shopping app to buy new clothes.
Option 3. You start looking at flight tickets like you are secretly very rich.
Option 4, you try to be good with your money, but then you order very expensive food for dinner.
Why is option 4 so specific, Sarah? Did you do that last night?
Maybe. We are being honest today.
I am sure many people listening understand exactly how that feels.
Yes, and that is why today's episode is going to be so interesting. Because today, we're talking about a choice that almost everyone thinks about every single day.
All right, let's get into it. The big question today is, should we save our money for the future or enjoy life right now?
It sounds like a simple financial question, but honestly, it's a real dilemma.
Ooh, dilemma. That is a fantastic word for our learners today. Let's explain that.
Sure. A dilemma is a situation where you have to make a very difficult choice between two things, and usually neither choice feels perfectly right. You feel stuck in the middle.
Exactly. And the money dilemma is about security versus freedom. It's about planning for tomorrow versus finding happiness today.
And, of course, it's about guilt.
So much guilt.
There's the guilt you feel after spending money.
And the strange guilt you feel when you don't spend money and you feel like you are missing out on life.
Sometimes it really feels impossible to win. You buy something and you think, well, that was irresponsible.
But if you don't buy it, you sit at home thinking, am I even enjoying my life? I work so hard. What is the point? If you have ever felt this internal debate, you are definitely not alone.
And just a quick note for our listeners, today's episode is perfect for you because this is real, authentic English.
These are the exact kinds of conversations people have with their friends over coffee or with their coworkers during a lunch break.
We'll talk about habits, priorities, money stress, and life choices. This episode is designed for B2 learners, but if you are a strong B1 learner, you can definitely follow along too.
If you don't understand every single word the first time, please do not worry. Just focus on the main ideas, listen to the context, and enjoy the conversation. We will stop and explain the difficult words as we go.
Before we continue, a very quick reminder. If you enjoy learning English with Mark and me, please take a second to like the video, subscribe to the English Radio channel, and share it with a friend who is also learning English.
Every like and comment helps the algorithm show our videos to other English learners around the world. And honestly, we just truly enjoy reading your messages.
Speaking of messages, we have a question for you to answer in the comments below. Two things, actually. Are you a saver, a spender, or a balanced person? What is one thing you never regret spending money on?
For example, you could write, I'm balanced. I never regret spending money on good books.
Or, I'm mostly a saver, but I always spend money on travel.
Or, the most honest answer, I'm a spender, but I'm working on it.
I think that last answer will be very popular today.
Let's start with a feeling that everyone in the world knows, payday. The money finally arrives in your account. And suddenly, your brain splits into two completely different personalities.
Yes, it is so true. One voice in your head says, be responsible. You need to save this. Put it away for the future.
And the other voice says, you worked so hard this month. You survived. Let's celebrate.
Your brain basically starts a negotiation. One side acts like a strict financial advisor in a suit.
And the other side is a party organizer wearing sunglasses. And strangely, both of them sound very persuasive.
Persuasive. Let's stop there for a second. That is a great adjective. If someone is persuasive, it means they are very good at making you believe them or making you agree with them.
Right. The responsible side is persuasive because it says, think about your future. What if your car breaks down?
But the fun side is also persuasive. It says, relax, life is short. You can't take your money with you when you die.
The problem is, the fun side usually has much better marketing.
And that leads us to a very common vocabulary term in English, the impulse purchase.
Ah, yes. Listeners, an impulse purchase means buying something suddenly, without planning it, just because the feeling in that exact moment is very strong. Impulse means a sudden, strong desire to do something.
For example, you open an online store just to look. You tell yourself, I am not buying anything today. And 2 days later, a mysterious package arrives at your door.
We have all done this, and often it happens because of another concept called retail therapy.
Oh, I love that phrase. Let's explain retail therapy. Retail refers to the sale of goods in shops. Therapy is the treatment to heal you or make you feel better.
So retail therapy is the act of going shopping simply to make yourself happier when you are sad, stressed, or tired. You aren't buying a sweater because you are cold. You're buying a sweater because you had a bad day at the office.
Exactly. And this answers a big question. Why do highly intelligent people still make terrible, emotional money decisions?
The simple answer? Because being smart does not mean you are never tired.
Wow. That sentence basically explains all of adulthood.
It's true. Grounding this in reality, most bad money decisions happen when people are stressed, exhausted, bored, or overwhelmed. Sometimes we're not really buying an object, we're buying a moment of relief. But then, unfortunately, we experience buyer's remorse.
Another great phrase. Remorse means deep regret or guilt for a wrong action. Buyer's remorse is that terrible, heavy feeling you get the next morning when you look at the receipt and think, why did I buy that?
Present you and future you really have a very complicated relationship.
You know, Mark, there is actual science behind why shopping feels so good in the moment. It's all about dopamine.
Dopamine. Let's explain that one. It's a biology term, but people use it in everyday conversation now. Dopamine is a chemical in your brain that makes you feel happy, rewarded, and motivated.
Right. When you click Buy Now on a website, your brain releases a hit of dopamine. You feel a sudden rush of excitement. The problem is that excitement disappears very quickly.
Exactly. By the time the package actually arrives at your house, the dopamine is gone. You open the backs and think, oh, it's just a shirt.
This is made even worse by something called decision fatigue.
Decision fatigue. This is a crucial concept for modern life. Fatigue means extreme tiredness. Decision fatigue means that your brain gets tired after making too many choices throughout the day.
Think about it. You wake up and decide what to wear, what to eat, how to handle problems at work, what emails to send. By 8 p.m., your brain is exhausted.
So, when you see an advertisement for a shiny new gadget at 8 p.m., your tired brain doesn't have the energy to say no. It just says, whatever, just buy it.
That is why financial experts often suggest deleting shopping apps from your phone. Make it harder for your tired brain to spend money.
Because of that guilt and remorse we mentioned earlier, humans have developed a very funny habit. We are experts at justifying our expenses.
Let's define justifying. To justify something means to create a logical, acceptable reason for something you did, usually after you already did it. It's how we lie to ourselves to feel better.
Yes, we create a story. For example, Sarah, tell them about your expensive gym membership.
Okay, fine. I will be honest. Last year, I signed up for a luxury gym. It was way too much money. But I didn't tell myself I was wasting money. I justified it by saying, this is actually an investment in my long-term health. If I spend more, I will feel forced to go every day.
And did you go every day?
I went 3 times in January and then never went back.
Exactly. We all do this. Someone might buy a very expensive jacket and say, this isn't fashion, this is for professional networking. People will respect me more.
My personal favorite justification is with food. This giant piece of chocolate cake is not a dessert, it's emotional recovery.
I use that one at least once a week.
To fight against these impulses and justifications, psychologists talk about a concept called delayed gratification.
This is a high-level phrase. Delayed means happening later than expected. Gratification means pleasure or satisfaction.
So, delayed gratification means having the discipline to wait for a bigger, better reward later instead of taking a smaller, less important reward right now.
A classic example, saying no to a $5 coffee every single day so that you can use that $150 at the end of the month to take a beautiful weekend trip.
Future you loves delayed gratification, but present you usually hates it because waiting is incredibly boring.
It reminds me of the famous marshmallow test. Researchers put a marshmallow in front of a child and said, you can eat this now, but if you wait 15 minutes, I will give you 2 marshmallows.
It's the ultimate test of delayed gratification. And honestly, even as adults, many of us would just eat the first marshmallow.
Now, let's be fair to the savers. Saving money is not always about fear. Most of the time, it's about wisdom and peace of mind.
Absolutely. When life becomes difficult, and it always does at some point, having savings can feel like oxygen. You can finally breathe.
That's why financial experts always talk about having a financial cushion.
A cushion is a soft pillow, so a financial cushion is extra money saved up so that if you fall down, like if you lose your job or have a medical emergency, you have something soft to land on. It reduces the impact of the stress.
Another very common English idiom we use here is saving for a rainy day.
A rainy day in this idiom doesn't mean actual weather. It means a difficult time or a crisis in the future. You save money because problems rarely send you a warning text message before they arrive.
But there is a difference between being frugal and being stingy. Let's explain the difference, because one is good and one is bad.
Great point. Being frugal is positive. It means you're careful with your money, you don't waste it, and you try to get good value.
But being stingy is negative. A stingy person hates spending money, even when they really need to, and they're usually very selfish. They refuse to pay their fair share at a restaurant, for example. We should aim to be frugal, not stingy.
However, there is another side to this conversation. Some people become so focused on saving for the future that they actually forget to live in the present.
Yes, life turns into an endless waiting room. Waiting for someday, waiting for retirement, waiting until the bank account hits a certain magical number.
But here is the absolute truth grounded in reality. Later is not guaranteed for anyone.
That is why balance matters so much, and this is where discretionary spending comes in.
Discretionary is a formal word, but very useful. Discretionary spending is the money you use for non-essential things, the things you want, not the things you need.
Things like hobbies, going to the cinema, traveling, or eating at nice restaurants. In simple terms, it's your fun money.
And sometimes it is perfectly okay to splurge on something special.
To splurge means to spend more money than you usually do on something you really want, just to treat yourself, like splurging on front-row concert tickets for your favorite band, or splurging on a very high-quality mattress because you want to sleep better.
But we have to mention the modern trap that makes splurging dangerous: social media.
Oh, the social media trap. This is such a big problem today.
A subscription is an agreement to pay for a service regularly, usually every month. Netflix, Spotify, gym memberships, software.
These are called recurring expenses. Let's explain that. Recurring means happening again and again. A recurring expense is money that leaves your bank account automatically every month.
The danger here is autopay. We set up our credit cards to pay these bills automatically, and then we completely forget about them.
You might be paying $15 a month for a streaming service you haven't watched in a year. $15 sounds like much, but $180 a year for nothing is a huge waste.
It's a great idea to check your bank statements every few months and cancel the subscriptions you no longer use. It feels like giving yourself a small salary increase.
So, how do we fix all of this? How do we fight impulse purchases, lifestyle creep, and subscriptions? Let's give our learners a few practical decision frameworks.
The first trick is simple: the 24-hour rule. Before buying anything non-essential, pause, close the app, leave the store, wait 24 hours.
It is amazing how often you wake up the next day and realize you don't actually care about that item anymore. The emotional impulse has faded.
Another great trick is to weigh the pros and cons.
This is a great phrase. The pros are the advantages, the good things. The cons are the disadvantages, the bad things. Weighing them means imagining a scale and seeing which side is heavier before you decide.
Another concept is opportunity cost.
Opportunity cost is an economics term. It means what do you lose when you choose one option instead of another?
If you spend $200 on clothes today, the opportunity cost is that you cannot put that $200 toward your emergency fund. You are trading one opportunity for another. Once you start seeing money as a trade, it changes how you spend.
And finally, there's the famous 50-30-20 rule. Have you heard of this, Sarah?
Yes, it's a very popular way to allocate your income.
Let's explain allocate. To allocate means to divide something and give it to different places for specific purposes.
With the 50-30-20 rule, you allocate 50% of your money to needs, like rent and groceries. You allocate 30% to wants, like restaurants and fun. And you allocate 20% to savings and paying off debt.
It is a fantastic framework because it forces you to save, but it also gives you permission to spend that 30% without feeling guilty.
Before we finish, we need to do a reality check. We have been talking about choosing between luxury items and big savings accounts.
Yes, but the reality is, with inflation and the rising cost of living around the world, many people are not making that choice. For many people, the goal is simply to make ends meet.
Let's explain that phrase clearly. To make ends meet means to earn just enough money to cover your basic living expenses. There's no money left for savings or splurging.
Exactly. And we want to be very empathetic to that. If you're in a situation where you're just trying to make ends meet, please don't feel guilty about not having a massive financial cushion. Just getting through the month is a huge achievement.
And in those difficult situations, even a very small treat, like a cheap cup of coffee at a cafe, can mean a lot for your mental health. It's not irresponsible. Sometimes it's necessary to keep your spirit up.
So maybe the ultimate answer to our big question isn't choosing just one side. It isn't 100% saving or 100% spending.
Maybe the real goal is learning how to protect your future without completely ignoring your present.
A balance between stability and joy.
That sounds like a philosophy I can accept.
All right, we have covered a massive amount of vocabulary and a lot of life philosophy today. Now it's your turn.
Head down to the comment section. We want to read your answers. Tell us, are you naturally a saver, a spender, or a balanced person?
And remember the second question. What is one thing you never regret spending money on? For me, it's a really good pair of walking shoes. I will always pay more for comfortable feet.
For me, it's concert tickets. I never regret spending money on experiences. If you enjoyed this long conversation and learned some new English today, please like the video and subscribe to the English Radio channel.
Take care of your money, everyone.
And take care of your happiness, too.
I'm Mark.
And I'm Sarah.
See you in the next episode.